Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and today we're finishing our Vlogmas. Today is New Year's Eve, as I am filming this, and we are finishing our Vlogmas day 24. Unfortunately, things got away from me and I didn't get to film in time, but we are persevering and we are putting this out on New Year's Eve. Today we are looking at good habits to start in 2025 or to continue if you already have these habits. So we're looking at some habits that I found on Facebook in this little list that says good habits to follow in 2025. We're going to see how many of these I already follow and how many of these you could start. So, give it a big thumbs up, support the channel with a PayPal super chat or super thanks, like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So, the first thing it says is start doing 150 minutes of aerobic exercise a week. Do steps, strength training, yoga, or Pilates. So basically, get fit. Get out of the chair, get into the gym, go for a walk, do something that heightens your endorphins, get your heart racing, and gets you out in the open. Or you could start doing things like running, jogging, walking, hiking, cycling, swimming, anything that's like exercise. For it says 150 minutes of aerobics a week. On average, people tell you to do like 30 minutes exercise or 30 minutes high intense walking a day. It's not really that hard. You could do that in between jobs when you go to work in the morning, just pump the little blood a bit. Next thing it says carrying your groceries, not having them delivered. So I guess with the whole thing of convenience now, everything can be delivered. And it's not very often people nip down to their local store anymore to pick up their groceries. They generally have them like delivered. Maybe you could take a trip to your local market on a Saturday and get a couple of bags of shopping like you used to in the like brown paper bags and carry your shopping around with you. I mean, it's an experience, I must admit, getting shopping in the rain. It can be fun. We also suggest a new sleep schedule. Maybe getting up an extra 15 minutes earlier so you can be a bit more prepared. Maybe going to bed a little bit earlier so you can be a bit more prepared. Um, or maybe just trying a whole new sleep pattern altogether. I actually suffer from insomnia, and currently I go to bed at 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the morning. It is hell. Don't let anybody tell you that insomnia is easy to snap out of, because if I had, I wouldn't have had lack of sleep for a year. Next thing, stop using your devices an hour before bed. Maybe listen to a bit of background music, maybe have a white noise machine, turn off the lights, be in a darkened room, maybe a sleep mask. Um, Turn off like all kind of blue lights or just any lights an hour before you actually want to nod off. Get ahead of the game, basically. Another thing is drink more water. Make sure you are hydrating. In this very, very busy world, hydrating is one thing we think of less and less. A bit like eating. Oh, I'll get to it later, or I'll just finish this and then I'll get a drink. Can turn into minutes or even hours when it comes to being busy. Next, cut back on alcohol consumption. I personally don't have an alcohol problem. I drink on occasion, mostly when I go out clubbing or birthdays or parties, so I don't have an alcohol problem. But if you do, maybe it's something you could consider. Maybe cutting back one less drink in the first couple of weeks and then try and increase it. Next, try and cook more and eat out less. This is something I think we could all try, with the fact that so much food can be delivered to your house now in like 15, 20, 10 minutes. It's so convenient to order out, and I get that. But it is also good to have that family time, having a meal indoors and preparing it. Next, maybe be mindful of what you're eating. Once again, it is so easy to just order a takeaway and not just think about it. but try and be a bit more mindful of what you're putting in your mouth and into your body. Easier said than done. We have just had Christmas. Next, focus on real food rather than processed food. So try to do things like fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, rather than doing them out of a microwave, which is what I tend to do. Although I do cook more fresh stuff now that I have an air fryer and a slow cooker. Next, drink less teas and coffees and caffeine. I'm not sure this is as easy as it sounds because most of us need tea, coffee, or caffeine just to get through the day. But maybe if you could lessen that 1 cup of coffee or that 1 cup of soda a day and just cut back slightly, you could like change for the better and probably feel a lot better with a lot less caffeine in you. Next, get outside more. So with this whole, as I said before, economy and how the world is, you do spend a lot of time indoors, in offices, at work. And then when you are off work, you need to get out in the sun, to the beach, to the park, to a movie. Get outdoors. Go do something other than working is the whole thing of this. Just get out there and do stuff. Live a little would be the motto. Next, try not to eat lunches in quick places. Take lunch to work. So this is lacking, making it so you don't pop out for a Greg's, pop out for a McDonald's. Bring your lunch to work. That way you know what calories you're eating. You know it's a structured lunch with vitamins and minerals. And it's more likely to help you get through that day so you can have that less cup of coffee. Because you'll have a lunch that is built with everything you need. And also, less money to spend. Eases up the money on your wallet. Next, try a new skincare regime or try new makeup. So if you're a stickler for the old makeup, I personally don't wear makeup unless there's a wedding or a party to go to. I am minimalist to the max. But I do have a skincare regime. I do have night creams that I put on. I do moisturize on occasion. I do a face mask and a hair mask. So I do a regime. It's just not like so insistent that, it's 24 hours a day, constant like product on my face. The same with wearing makeup constantly. I like my skin to breathe. Next, try a wide variety of food. Try and get out a bit more of your comfort zone. Try something a bit different. Me, I'm a stickler for pizza, pasta, lasagna. I love Italian. I have recently tried different meats. I have tried to do a bit different, but I am a stickler for what I like, and that's not always a good thing. I could be missing out on food I would really like if I just took that little bit of time just to get out of my comfort zone. Next, take care of yourself. Now, this can be taken in any which way: physically, mentally, spiritually, your food, your drinking, your smoking, whatever you do, take care of yourself. You have one body and one mind and one heart. Unfortunately, over time, these things do get a bit out of whack and a little bit damaged, but it is possible to rectify your mind, rectify your body. If you're having problems with your spirituality, that's kind of out of my forte, but matters of the heart are really important as well. Next, let go of what you cannot control. So this is letting go of worries, concerns, anxiety you may have in 2025. Let the reins go a bit. Try and be a little bit less intense, a little bit less stressful, a little bit less worried. You need to de-stress, de-calm, and just know that karma has no deadline. I'm joking. Just people will know why I said that. So don't fret over the little things. Usually you're like fretting over the most tiny thing imaginable. But believe me, the bigger picture is there are bigger things out there to worry about. The little things, just brush them off, move on. Next, try to keep your emotions intact. And I know this is hard because this year has been a ball ache for me mentally. And trying to keep my emotions intact, my mental health being intact, has been hard. And I think the pandemic had a knock on effect for most people. The economy's now had a knock on effect, and now the living crisis has also affected people. And it's not getting any better. I think, in fact, it'll get worse before it gets better. It's just how it happens. Next, treat yourself with some kind of respect. Although you're having a bad time and you are stressing and you are worrying, just remember that, you can cope with stuff. You just have to find a way of coping. And I know that's really hard, and it's hard for me. I had a counselor for most of 2024. But there are people you can talk to. There are services that can help you. You don't have to suffer in silence or be alone. Next, try to be positive every day. Now, this is hard, not gonna lie. Um, Being positive doesn't come easy to people. Like I said, with all the negative stuff in the world, you try and outweigh the positive and the bad, and you try and weigh them up. Negativity usually reigns, not gonna lie. But try and be more positive. Try and see an end goal. Try and see a resolution to a problem before jumping to the bad stuff. Next, try to be more strict with yourself. Now, this could be anything. Be more strict on how much you drink, how much you smoke, how many takeaways you have. Restrictive a little bit on the purse. Restrictive on how many hours you work. Try and have a little bit of balance in your life. That's not always easy because obviously you have family, maybe a partner, bills to pay. I totally get that, but there's no point working yourself into a stew, stressing out, and just being miserable. Nothing can be worse than just putting yourself in this position. Next, reflect on the beauty of the life you have. So, everybody wants, a bigger house, a fancier car, a job promotion. Try and be content with what you have in a way that you still want to have more, but it's not the be end and end all of like life itself. Try and be a bit more happy with what you have, but I don't want you to not aspire to be better or not aspire to have something else. But don't make it your entire goal for 25 to be miserable until you get that. Okay, next, most important one, don't forget to live. Live. Live for yourself. I know people say we live for the man. You work every day. You strive. You seem to get nowhere. Everything is put in your way to test you. That is true. But you can learn to have a happy, positive life, even with all that negativity. You just have to be a bit more ballsy, a bit more like, I've got this, you go, girl, we're going to do this. Positive, motivated attitude. Okay. Practice being mindful of others. So I don't think we take this into consideration sometimes when we're like, oh, we're having a really bad time. I guarantee you, you're having a bad time, someone's having it worse than you. Does that make them any better than you? No. But you need to be mindful of that people are struggling the same as you, and some people are in even worse boats than you. And I mean worse boats. Sometimes just looking at your life and thinking, well, I don't have the fancy house, the fancy car, I don't have this, I don't have that. Some people don't have food on their table. You might have some. Some people don't have heating in their house. You might some. Some people don't even have a roof over their heads. So it's being mindful of what you like complain about, because I guarantee you that person on the bus that's listening to your story has probably got it 10 times worse. And what they don't need to hear is how shit your life is, and then sit there and go, oh my God, look at my life. So just be mindful of like what you say around people, how you speak, because you never know how bad someone else has got it. Next, decrease your time on social media. This isn't as easy. Not gonna lie. Social media is everywhere. Everywhere you go, there are people on their phones, their laptops, computers, iPads. It's a part of life, but it doesn't necessarily have to take over your life. You could Look at how long you spend on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok and go, oh, I spend 7 hours a day scrolling. Maybe that's a little bit much. Maybe you could cut it back to 5 hours a day scrolling and slowly cut it down. And I guarantee you probably wouldn't even notice. Eventually, it would just become the norm. But, you know, as we are fixated in becoming this tech controlled world with our phones and all our techie stuff, it is hard to sometimes switch off. Next, don't see roadblocks as challenges. See your roadblocks as challenges. So just because something is in your way or it's challenging, it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. It just means you might have to take longer to get there, but it is still worth doing. So if you're trying to get a promotion, maybe do that little bit of extra overtime, get your boss's eye, or maybe you want to date somebody, but you're seeing like these roadblocks of dating them. Maybe try and see round different stuff. Don't see a roadblock or a barrier as necessarily a do not cross, do not go, you're not getting there. Maybe see it as a bit of a challenge and you need to work a bit harder, take a bit longer, be a bit more motivated. So, next, don't compare yourself to other people. As earlier, like I said, people are going to be jealous. You're going to walk around and see a fancy car, see somebody with a new iPhone and be like, oh, I wish I had that. And it's nice to want to be better, but don't fixate on it. If you sit there and you're like, oh, I haven't got the new iPhone, it's like £1,500. Don't put yourself in a stew because you don't have it, or you don't have the new Hermes bag, or you don't have the next Christian Dior shoes that have come out. Like, if you really want something, you'll have to work for it. They're not just handed to you. But you also don't need to compare yourself to others. Sometimes just being where you are is enough and should be enough. But it is good to want better things in life, but you don't have to want what somebody else has got just because they have it. Next time is try and read a little every day or educate yourself. So I think social media probably educates us every day, but is it the right education? Probably not. I personally used to read when I was younger, when I had the time. Nowadays, I barely even pick up a book. Although you can get ebooks now, so it does make it a bit easier. You can read off your phone. You can have Audible, where you can listen to books on the go, so you don't necessarily have to carry a physical book. Because nowadays handbags are getting smaller and smaller, and at one point we'll probably not even have a handbag because everything will be done off our phone, our banking, reading. You won't need a handbag for anything. Women's bags will become obsolete, although that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Have you ever seen inside a woman's handbag? It's like Doctor Who's TARDIS. How do they fit all that shit in one bag? And the last thing, try and just relax. Just relax. Relax. Calm. We've got this. Be positive. Bit of calm, relaxation, breathe. Just be calm. 2025 is a whole 365 days a year. You do not have to achieve what you want to achieve in 2025 in a week or a month or even 6 months. You have the entire year to fuss, complain, moan, challenge, be de-challenged, be motivated, be demotivated, be positive, and be negative all in 1 year. You can take time, step by step. And they are some things to do for 2025. I haven't read all of them because there are way too many, but these are good habits to start. Let me know down below. Do you do any of these? Personally, I try and switch off an hour before I go to bed. I do try and get up 15 minutes early before I have to be somewhere. Trying to eat healthy, not so much. The exercise, I do try and go for a walk every day, even if it is to town and back. I do try and get out of the house more. Haven't been out of the house in a couple of days. Let's not tell anyone. But Today is New Year's Eve, and this is the last Vlogmas. I am sorry it just took so long, but life didn't exactly go to plan, and that is why new habits in 2025 are going to try and counteract the bad year I've had this year. But if you want to like and subscribe and give us a big thumbs up, you can support the channel by going on TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. You can also support the channel by sharing this out. And you can also support the channel because it is still 'tis the season to be giving until 12 o'clock tonight when we finish 2024. And you can donate by PayPal, Super Chat, or Super Thanks and help the Raven into 2025 with a smile on her face and a jingle in her pocket. And I will see you very soon for another video. I love you all. Have a wonderful 2025. And don't you worry, I'm going to be there with you every step of the way. And I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.